All right, this is going to be a little demo of all three of my current Millennium Falcon Bass guitars. I like to joke that I have never built the same thing twice. Everything that I build uses recycled materials. I get secondhand guitars and I cannibalize them for parts, reuse the necks and electronics that I can salvage, and then build what I build out of those recycled materials. Occasionally I will build with replacement necks or brand new parts, but almost exclusively what I build is using secondhand materials, guitars that I get from people who either don't want them anymore or have damage to the body or electronics that I don't care about because what I'm needing is the neck, or with minor problems with the electronics that are easy for me to fix. So things that I build are usually built with secondhand materials, which means I don't necessarily have the same materials for every single version of something that I build. So all three of the bass guitars that I have currently that are Millennium Falcon basses are different. Also, all three of the Millennium Falcons that I have are different. Even though they're the same molds, they're different issues of that same mold. So I will start with this one. This is a glary bass. So these are sold on Amazon. They're kind of a budget bass, I will admit, but the necks are really, really nice. I was really impressed with it. It went together really, really nicely. The way I build these, I know I have another video showing that whole entire process, but it's about an hour long. I taped or videoed from beginning to end the whole process of taking the toy apart, gutting the inside, building the support. There's a solid block of maple in here connecting the neck to the bridge, wiring everything, putting it all together. It takes me about 8 to 10 hours to build one of these anymore, since I know the kind of problems I'm going to run into. But yeah, so this one's number 229 of the guitars that I've built. I've been doing this for about 10 years, and I'm going to go over some of the features. This one is the 2004 remold. I guess they were still Power of the Force back then. I don't think it was vintage collection yet. It might have been. I'm not entirely sure. I think it was still Power of the Force. Either way, this is the 2004 version of the Falcon. It still is based off of that vintage Kenner mold from way back when. But I like building with this one because it has this nice closed engine with the see-through plastic. It has better sound effects as well, and they run off of 3 AA batteries. So the battery compartment is a little bit better for what I like to do with them, because I actually add my own LED lights for the canopy and the engine, and I add brighter LED lights for the engines as well that all run off of 3 AA batteries. So having the battery compartment already wired for 3 AA's is really, really nice. So let me demonstrate that first. I've rigged this so that when the amp is plugged in, it trips the circuit for the lights. So the lights all come on, the engine lights, the headlights, and if you can see in the cockpit, there are 2 LED lights in the cockpit as well. So all of that comes on. The great thing about that is that it is all ran off those 3 AA batteries that are in the compartment here. So that means it's easy to replace if those batteries go dead. The other thing that I've started doing with this, because a lot of people want to be able to hang these up and display them, is that I have rigged a wall plug with a adapter that I will include with any sale that can be plugged into the wall outlet and bypass the battery circuit, so that you can plug this in and it'll light up while on display and those batteries won't run down. So you can actually remove the batteries altogether and then plug it into a wall outlet, and it will still all light up while on display. So you can hang it on your wall, have it all lit up, have it on display, and it will look really, really cool being displayed that way. Of course, it functions like a standard bass. So I'm going to turn the amp on, and I have not tuned these since my last show. I should have done that before. Yeah, that's a little flat. They do stay in tune relatively well. Transporting them and moving them around yanks them out of tune, of course. This one has a volume and a tone. This is a humbucker as the pickup. And my favorite feature of these is that I've rigged it so that the sound effects, which still work in the toy, will play through the amp. And that is what this third volume knob actually does. So that controls the volume of the sound effects as they run through the amp. So the same buttons that control the sound effects of the toy when it was a toy, these 4 buttons right here, still control the sound effects. And let me turn it up so you can hear it through the amp. So this volume controls quite how loud that can get, and it can get quite loud. So I usually keep it turned down pretty low so it doesn't actually overpower the guitar circuit. One weird quirk with how I've wired these is if you turn the volume on the sound effects all the way up, it cuts the guitar circuit off completely, and I don't actually know why that happens. Somehow with the way I've ran the circuit, if you turn this all the way up, it cuts the guitar off. So I just tell everybody, don't turn the volume knob on the sound effects all the way up. Keep it about midway or all the way down. Or you can actually just turn it off completely with this switch. It cuts that circuit off from the guitar circuit altogether. So if you don't want it to play through the amp, it'll still play through the volume or through the speaker on the toy, but it won't play through the amp if you hit the buttons. But flipping this cutoff switch back down into the down position will allow those sound effects to still play through. So, yeah, all the sound effects still work. They play through the amp. Unless you don't want them to, you can cut it off. The other thing I like about the 2004 remold is if I can get it with the parts, more often than not, the radar dish is missing because it pops right off. If you have trouble with playing it with that in the way, it comes off, and conveniently I can position it in here just right. It can fit in the cockpit. Well, you get the idea. You can stash it away so that it's out of the way and you don't lose it. Of course, the cockpit does open, so if you got a little Han Solo figure, you can still put it in there. There you go. So that is number 229, the Glary Bass Falcon guitar. Now, if you have to do any work on the electronics or anything like that, the only thing I don't like about these is that there is no way to access the electronics without taking the shell of the Falcon apart completely. You could also remove this panel. There's a bunch of tiny little screws that are holding it on. You can take that panel off and you can access most of the electronics with just that one panel. But to access everything, you have to take the whole Falcon apart. So it can be daunting. I've shipped one where a tone knob got a little jostled in transit, and a technician had to open it up and look at some things, and they called me and said, "What in the hell is going on in here?" Because if you watch my build video, there is there's a lot going on the inside of these things, so that can be intimidating. All right, so that's that one. That's the glary bass. I won't go into as much detail with the other two because they are very, very similar. Here is the Squier Jaguar bass, which I've been told is, at least one Squier fan thought this was sacrilegious, but you know, I got the neck secondhand. It didn't have a body. The body was all jacked up. So, you know, whatever. Your trash is my treasure, right? Now, this Falcon is the 90s version, which you'll see the engine is very different. It was just a sticker. So I have taken and modified the engine a little bit by cutting off some of the plastic struts and just taping on the blue LED strips straight to the sticker. So it still has the light up engines that I like to add, but it doesn't look quite as nice as that 2004 mold that has the extra engine detail. So this one also has a different cockpit. The glass for the cockpit was missing for this one, so it's just open and clear. The engine, or the cockpit lights and headlights, I added, of course. It has the same humbucker because I took it off the same guitar, got those two humbuckers off the same guitar to use. It only has a volume and tuner because this one actually, the sound effects, while I got it to work, the battery compartment on this one takes 2 C batteries, and it was so badly corroded that I actually had to add a AA battery pack to this to run all of the electronics and the lights. So to change the batteries on this one, you actually have to take this panel off to access the battery pack that's inside the guitar. So this one is number 232. This is the Jaguar, Squier Jaguar bass. This is the older model of the Falcon. If the batteries run down, you have to take this panel off to access the battery pack that runs the lights and the sounds of the toy. And I did not run the sound effects through the amp with this one. I might, if I don't sell it. I don't like the sound effects of this one either. It's the older circuit board from like the vintage line, and it's not right. It's just generic space toy sounds. It's not Star Wars. So it bugs me a little bit. Yeah, so this one. The other thing I don't like about the older version is that the radar dish is screwed on. It's solid. It can't be removed. So it's good that it won't get lost, but it can't be removed. So you're gonna have to play around it. That's the only thing negative about the other negative thing about using this version of the Falcon. So yeah, I do list this one for a little less cost-wise because of the sound effects and having the inconvenience of not being able to easily change the batteries and the other things. I did add the plug for the wall outlet, so you can plug this in to display it and bypass the battery pack altogether like the other ones. So there is that feature added to that one as well. And last but not least is this one, which I used a Rogue neck, which I really like the Rogue neck style with the bass, with the Falcon. Not just because I like the pun, it being a rogue, like Rogue Squadron, but the neck itself just is really nice looking on the Falcon. It's a bit longer scale length, and it's a little heftier. I do like the way this one feels. I like the way it plays. The Falcon I got off eBay is a little bit more yellowed than I would have liked. The eBay listing was edited a little. Definitely didn't look as yellow as it is in the images. You can't really tell when it's on by itself, but when you pick it up and compare it to one side by side, you can definitely see how yellow the top is. So that's unfortunate. The other thing is also it was missing its boarding ramp. So the boarding ramp is missing. I'm trying to source one of those to at least fill that hole. I've got a few leads on getting some of those parts. Like I said, it's getting more and more difficult to find these complete. So that is part of the reason these are going up in price. I'm finding it more difficult to find the toys to build them out of and find them complete. Now this one I did go the extra mile and add 2 sets of pickups. It is wired up like a jazz bass with 2 volumes and a single tone. Turning one volume all the way off gives you one pickup only. Turning them both half on gives you both. You can play around with that. And of course you still have the sound effects and the sound effect volume knob. And you can turn that off and isolate the circuit. I really like this one. It sounds great. It looks great. It plays great. The only thing I don't like about it is how yellow it was, the fact that it's missing the radar dish, and the fact that it's missing the on-ramp, the loading ramp, and it has this big gaping hole in the back, which I am trying to remedy. So that will be fixed before I sell this one. So yeah, this one actually will not be listed currently until I get that last few things fixed. But yeah, those are the Millennium Falcon basses that I currently have. You should see these popping up on my Reverb store shortly. As always, if you're seeing this video much later, this is currently June 3rd. June 3rd. I don't know when exactly this video will be uploaded, probably by June 5th to YouTube. But if you're seeing this quite a while after that, then these probably have already sold. But I will always be making more of them. They are a staple of my inventory. And if you would like one, please reach out. Go to my website, www.don'tfretcbg.com, or find me on my socials at Facebook is Don't Fret Guitars, and on Instagram, which is also Don't Fret Guitars, or go to my website and find the links there. You can also find my Reverb store, which is where I list everything online. Or you can find me in Cincinnati. I do sales in person at Findlay Market. I also do sales around at other vending events around town. And if you are local to Cincinnati, please reach out to me via socials or email and let me know you're interested in something, and we can arrange a meet. And we can work out something in person. Don't pay shipping prices on Reverb if you are local. Please reach out to me directly. And if you can imagine, these are a pain to ship. I recently shipped one to Australia, and it was expensive. So, if you can avoid it, come pick it up in person. I also like to watch people play them because I can't play the bass, or the guitar, or the ukulele, or 90% of the instruments that I make. So, yeah, find me in person and play some of these for me. I will thoroughly enjoy it. Hope you enjoyed these, and I hope that you come and buy them. Thank you.